I've been thinking about something from a simulation theory perspective. If reality is a simulation, we'd expect occasional inconsistencies, not dramatic matrix moments, but subtle synchronization or rendering errors that our brains immediately try to rationalize away. Maybe our brains are designed to maintain a coherent model of reality, so anything that doesn't fit gets dismissed as a memory lapse or inattention. Over the last 2 weeks, I've had 3 experiences that made me question that. The disappearing ghee container. I was alone in my puja room with the door closed. I had 2 small containers of ghee, a blue one that was almost full and a yellow one that was nearly empty. After filling the diya, I realized I needed more ghee. I reached for the blue container, but it was gone. My 2-year-old daughter had briefly entered the room, so I assumed she might have taken it. I searched around me several times during the puja and couldn't find it anywhere. Eventually, I used the yellow container instead. Just before finishing the puja, I looked up again. The blue container was sitting directly in front of me in an obvious place that I had already checked multiple times. 2. The missing hair serum. While traveling, I packed my hair serum inside the transparent compartment of my suitcase. I specifically remember placing it there. The next morning, I opened that compartment to use it. It wasn't there. I assumed I'd remembered incorrectly and got ready without it. Later that night, when I opened the suitcase again, the serum was sitting exactly where I'd originally looked. I was the only person using that suitcase and the only person using that serum. 3. Somehow missing each other. This one involved another person, which is why it stands out to me. A friend and I were at a small cafe with only one path connecting the dining area to the restrooms. I noticed she had left the table, assumed she'd gone to the restroom, and walked there myself. I waited outside the stalls, used one when it became free, and then returned to the dining area. She was already back. When I asked where she'd been, she said she'd been in the restroom. The strange part is that she was just as confused as I was. Neither of us had seen the other, despite there being only one entrance/exit in a very small space where we should almost certainly have crossed paths. I'm not claiming these experiences prove simulation theory, but if we assume, for the sake of discussion, that reality is a simulation, how would simulation theory explain events like these? Could they be examples of dynamic rendering of objects, observer-dependent reality, synchronization, or state updates, errors, memory reconciliation after an inconsistency? Or do these experiences point to something entirely different? Specifically interested in hearing from people who already view simulation theory as a plausible framework. How would you interpret these events from within that model?